Welcome back, Michael.
Thanks, D. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
We're both hosts. Yeah. We're both co-hosts. There's no, you know.
You're the guy. You're the guy. I'm the guy behind the guy behind the guy.
You've been doing great.
Well, I appreciate that. I've had a great teacher named Michael Artich. You might know him.
Thank you. I do. I think I know who he is.
He taught me everything I know.
He's got the same haircut as you. You guys go to the same barber?
Sometimes.
Hey, have you been having fun? It seems like you're having a lot of fun.
No, it's been terrific. It's been terrific.
Awesome.
And we're so thankful for all the terrifics out there and all of your constant feedback. Please continue to, ask questions and make comments because we love it. We're here live at Toy Fair.
We've got a great guest now. They were a 2017 Toady Toy of the Year nominee.
Sorry?
Shannon joins us, and I'm really excited about this. The product that you have here is called Grippies.
Correct.
And the company's called Guidecraft.
Correct.
And I mean, it just looks cool. I think that this is an interactive, it seems like it's an interactive toy for kids to really stimulate kind of, hand movement and
fine motor skills, correct?
Yeah, fine motor skills. So that's what I'm really bad at. I've got macro skills that
we
are
can
really
get you
good.
a set and we can work on it.
Could I actually, that's what I was going to say, even at this age, could I get better? Like I can't thread a needle, but I could throw a football pretty good. I can't draw within the lines, but I can play hockey.
Well, we should probably talk a little about stackers, and we can definitely improve on those fine motor skills.
Tell me, how does this work?
Sure. So what we have here are Grippies stackers, and it's one of 5 toys in the Grippies platform, which is a toddler STEM platform. So we want to encourage learning of science, technology, engineering, and math as young as 18 months. And all of the Grippies toys are essentially magnetic construction toys, but they're sized such and the coloration is as such to really be appealing to that age group. And what makes Grippies particularly special is the material science behind the toy. So we have this extremely durable ABS plastic, which is common across a lot of construction toys, but what we utilize is an overmolded soft plastic. So here, go ahead and feel that.
Yeah.
Feel free to.
It's got a nice tactile feel.
Exactly. We want to encourage tactile exploration. The material itself presents a friction which aids in simple building for 18 months or older.
So my question is, this seems like to me this would, I could do this. This would be macro, right?
Maybe,
I don't know how.
Maybe you can do that.
Apparently
maybe
I can't.
not. You will start to see that it's magnetic only to certain sides. So explain that a little more to us, Shannon.
So within stackers and across a lot of the toys by Guidecraft, we create possibilities but also limitations within toys because there are lessons in either of those. If every side was magnetic, it would provide easy building across, horizontally and vertically. But at that young age, when you realize, oh, okay, so it sticks there, but it doesn't, maybe you start to plan ahead a little bit more about how you want to build outwards, like I've done here, or build, I don't want to knock that over, or be able to just use gravity and stacking vertically. So there's a lesson in that and not providing an easy magnetic.
So how does this help my fine motor skills? My fine motor skills?
I'll show you some more. Can I have them back, please?
Maybe.
So also with Grippies, we like the idea of challenging typical play patterns. So stackers is mainly a series of blocks and rods, which are common across lots of building toys. But as a child starts to either design flat or design vertically, they realize that these cutouts create negative spaces. And they might not know that term negative space, but they realize this void seems to perfectly fit these rods that are provided. So that's fine motor. So being able to take this item.
That's what I said.
And it's such a basic concept, but for such a young age when they're developing, being able to fit something in perfectly and line things up to be able to provide a platform to build more things is a lesson.
Very cool.
So that's part of it.
So how did you get involved with Guidecraft? The company's been around a couple of days, right?
Yeah, we're a 50-year-old company. Education is at our roots, so all of the different platforms and systems in our line for different age groups, at the heart of it, it's really encouraging learning and especially STEM concepts. So initially 50 years ago, it was more along the lines of block play, which is still one of our favorite categories, wooden block play with unit blocks. And but it wasn't
block, square hole, right?
Yeah.
That's what I always try to do. Sometimes I make it work.
But over
Especially
the
if the
years,
square hole's big enough, you can definitely put a round, you know.
as production processes have improved and we've become more we've explored more possibilities through plastic and magnets. We wanted to continue that tradition of encouraging learning. So over the past 10 years or so, there have been many more introductions of plastic magnetic toys.
How'd you get to the company?
Well, I was lucky. Right after graduation, I went to the Columbus College of Art and Design in Columbus, Ohio. I have a background in illustration and animation.
Did you eat a lot of Grater's ice cream?
I had some Grater's ice cream.
It's pretty good, isn't it? What's your favorite flavor out there?
Oh, I don't know if I could pick one.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a mint chip guy. I was going to say their mint chip's pretty good.
There's also Jenny's Splendid ice cream. Have you had Jenny's?
No.
That's in the center of Columbus.
Really?
Yeah.
So, but Grater's is famous for using the French pot and hand churning the ice cream. Now they, I think, have the French pot, but they maybe use an automatic hand kind of crank.
I don't know. I'm not up on my ice cream making.
No? I don't know about.
Obviously, Mike is. I mean, this particular place. You've never mentioned it. Like,
what do you mean I've never mentioned it? I mean, I've never been in Cincinnati or Columbus with you. That's all. Just Minnesota, Denver, Indy. They don't have Graters in any of those places.
I guess.
Vegas. When's Graters coming to Vegas? All right.
How did we get on Graters?
So we were talking about the school.
Right. I'm originally from New York. I attended a college in Ohio, but I returned to New York to look for a design job. And luckily my skills in realistic draftsmanship and my knowledge of Adobe Creative Suite lend itself to toy design, because we do design all of our toys in-house at Guidecraft. So everything starts with pencil to paper. We have a collaboration of graphic designers, industrial designers, illustrators like myself, to come up with really unique concepts for educational toys.
So you're actually designing the toys and coming up with them, and it starts with an illustration, which I imagine I always imagine that you start this on a napkin in some restaurant. You get an idea and you're like, oh, let me just sketch this out, and then it goes to maybe a real sketch, and then it goes to the computer.
Correct. That really is how it goes sometimes.
You never start on the computer?
No. I don't
really?
think so, yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting to me.
There's just a fluidity to working with your hands, or even building with other materials that are become models of what a final toy might be. So we definitely...
Do you use like charcoal and stuff like that? Do you walk around with a backpack or a briefcase full of charcoal, or is it a pencil,
charcoal.
a mechanical pencil?
Usually just pencil. Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by this.
So we really can do whatever we want.
So
anything that promotes the concept.
Do you ever think of a toy that should be built, or do they say, okay, we want to make a toy, the children can do this, and it should be like this, and then you start thinking, or do you literally ever sit there and go, I've got an idea here?
It's a combination of things. For Grippies in particular, we noticed a void in the market. It really was introducing STEM concepts at such a young age. There are plenty of STEM toys out there, but they typically start at an older age, because that's what I think people will consider, that's when kids will start understanding those concepts, which we disagree with. Like, kids recognize that, maybe to them it's magic that it's sticking to it, but and we have other toys that are more about the pulls for magnets as well, so you kind of learn what attracts, what repels. So we saw that void, and we thought, you know what, we really could size up some construction shapes that are really fun to look at, to grab, to play, and to combine for a child who maybe can't talk about the concepts yet, but is starting to understand them through play.
They come in a cool container like this. Yeah. It's pretty nice. Do you design this or work on the design to this too?
I manage the design of that, yeah.
Really?
So, yeah.
So it's all the way through?
We wanted it to reflect what's going on with the toy. So if you feel the handle...
Yeah, it feels like the toy.
It feels like the toy, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And kind of suggest the different materials. Some of these relate to some of the other toys in the Grippies line, but it's easy for carrying around, to clean up. Cleanup's a big part of play for...
Absolutely. It didn't used to be. When I was a kid, nobody they just said clean your room like once a week, but now it's like part of play.
And I saw that, they created people with the blocks.
That's true,
with the stackers.
So though we have some textural elements to either do pattern making or patterning or matching, as you can match the rods to the shapes. On the opposite sides of the small rods, we have very simplistic emoticon faces, because the second you do that, you have a little person. And so as children can create their world and their environment with the toys, they can use dramatic play as well throughout
Very
it.
cool. Shannon, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you for having me. This is great. Thank you so much.
It's been great to have you on. And it's so interesting. I mean, it's really rare that we talk to a designer and we get to hear about how the pencil or pen hits the napkin paper, and then to the real paper, and then to the computer screen. Do you use, I imagine you use either a tablet or one of those pens?
I do, yes, sometimes. Yeah.
Which one do you use?
I have a Wacom tablet that I
Yeah, we know those guys well. It's fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do you use that or use a mouse more, or a trackpad?
Probably a mouse more these days, yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Pretty cool. When did you start getting into this?
Into
designing toys and stuff, or designing in general?
I mean, it was, design in general, I mean, it's always been in my nature.
Yeah.
I was an artistic kid all through grade school and high school and college.
And when
I was lucky to transition into this really awesome
When you were a kid,
market.
were you using Adobe stuff back then?
Just maybe in high school, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you so much.
It's so interesting to me because I'm not very artistic.
Me neither.
I can't draw for anything, and like I used to draw just triangles and make more triangles and triangles, and that was the end of it for me. But
I make boxes a lot, and they're not good
like
boxes.
the 3D box. Like
I try to do the 3D. That's
and-
what I try to do. If I'm on a conference call with somebody, you'll see a notepad, and you'll see all these notes, and then you'll see like a couple of boxes. Must be when I get bored. But they're 3D boxes, and they're kind of collapsed 3D boxes.
I like
They're
your
very
initials,
safe.
you know.
I do my initials a lot. I practice my signature a lot. You know, when I was a kid, I thought I was gonna, be an athlete.
Yeah.
We're obviously emphatic about having a designer around. So
it's very cool.
Appreciate it.
I love it.
And Darren Reed, Michael Artist, Shannon, we'll be back. BeTerrific.com. See you in a little bit.